I do feel like they are equal for me. I think my writing and being a poet is just a bit quieter. It's a little more vulnerable for me. It feels a little more, a little trickier to give that part of myself to the world, and something that I'm trying to get better at, because when I do it, it actually feels very therapeutic.
The Yoga Connection with Zorananda is a deep dive into the world of yoga, exploring the rich history of tradition, methodology, and practices both ancient and modern. Follow along as yoga is explored through solo episodes to guest interviews to understand its vast reach around the world.
And stuff there is.
Yeah.
He says like sometimes he does feel like a little bit closed in, and he misses like those big Alberta skies.
Yeah, because you're right at the foothills of the mountains, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, depending on where you are in the valley, it's just you'll get
you don't really
zero
see a
sunlight.
Yeah, and you don't really even get a sunset.
Yeah.
Like you never really. It goes from like daylight to like blue hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think would be.
But then you're around like the lakes and stuff.
I know. I think
like,
is the trade-off good? I'm thinking it's good.
Yeah, but like if you're the type of person where you just want a completely simple life.
Yeah.
You know? You don't really want the like
stuff.
the livelihood of the city, right?
Yeah.
And so there's on the yoga retreat that I did, there were like some people that lived around there.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically the industry is you're in the logging industry or you're in like home building or something.
Yeah.
And
literally half the town that my dad lives in works at the lumber mill.
Yeah.
Because they do. Or it's like the grocery store, or just like such simple shit.
Yeah.
Like my mom works at the bakery.
Yeah. And time is so different out there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, super slow.
So slow, which that's what I like about it the most.
Yeah.
Is because the city is very fast paced. And like you feel like you sort of like have to be doing something, like you have to be being productive, or like everybody else is gonna leave you behind.
Yeah.
And there's not that feeling there.
Yeah, I was just in Jasper for the weekend snowboarding, and I had that feeling where I was like,
yeah,
man, my mind is already going towards my week ahead of me.
Right.
And the work that I have to do, and you know, like
really
releasing a video and making a new song, and like getting back to teaching yoga. And yeah, it's really interesting being in that like all the time, but then having like these pockets where you can like unplug.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I do a yearly snowboard trip, which is awesome. So yeah, being on top of the mountain, and some
perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is this thing? It's beautiful.
That is my harp.
That is a fucking harp.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Don't really play it. I've been procrastinating taking it in to get like properly restrung. I tried restringing it myself one day. And if you notice, it's missing a string near like the end. So those last strings are the hardest to like string properly. And I didn't really consider that. So I watched this whole YouTube video of how to do it. Took me like 4 hours to do it. And
that's a fun little project though.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do here.
Yeah. So I'm like, I have a weird little collection of instruments. I also have a trumpet.
Oh, no. And can you play the trumpet?
No.
I was going to make you do it.
No. I just was like, man, I don't even know what got over me. I was just like, I just want to buy a trumpet.
Why not? Maybe one day you'll learn.
Yeah. I have violin. I did take violin lessons.
Violin's pretty.
Yeah. So
it's different than a fiddle though, right?
Yeah, it is different than fiddle. Yeah. I think a fiddle is a little bit smaller and it's got a different sound. Yeah, and it has a different etiquette too, just like with how you play it. So
you get that folky
Yeah.
Those folky tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my main instrument is guitar, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
These are the ones you brought?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love it. Music has been, a huge part of my life for sure. Yeah. It totally got me out of some childhood depression back when I was like 15, 16. And, so we're recording. We started.
Okay, great.
So welcome to the Yoga Connection. I'm here with Deanna. This is our second round because I botched the sound. Take two, yeah. This time I made sure I checked everything, and so on that little box there on the left, there's two knobs, and so when I have my guitar plugged in one of them, I have to turn it down, and so I didn't turn that one up.
Fair.
But we're all good this time around.
Great.
And thank you for coming to my sweet little abode here. And over the last couple weeks, have you taken small bits of time to kind of think about what you wanted to talk about here? Has anything ruminated since then? And
I feel like I loved what we talked about.
Yeah.
And but then I think also probably if anybody's been on a podcast and you speak words out of your mouth, you then look back and you think about all those words that you said.
Yeah.
And you're like, were they good?
Yeah.
Were they good words? Do they resonate? And then I just thought, it felt so just comfortable and easy to talk with you and say things. So I didn't think back and I should have said this, or I shouldn't have said that. There was none of that. So I think I'll just flow the same way.
Nice. Yeah, when I was listening back to it, doing my best to edit my side of it, there's always these sweet little gems that come out. And part of my goal with having this channel grow and having this podcast grow is finding those gems in there just to put together with some sweet videos. But for the most part, I think one of my main goals is to find people here that are either through friends or people that I kind of meet on the wild to have these conversations with. Because I think there's just some really sweet people in the city. So even when I think about how I met you and meeting you at the art show and just immediately getting this wicked impression and this vibe and knowing that there's something there, you know, and how that tumbles into doing the photo shoot together and using your studio for the video, that it feels really cool to watch that kind of grow into something cool,
Such an organic, I know what you mean, just such an organic connection that just sort of keeps on giving and but deepening, I guess, even. And now we're here, and I sort of think everything happens for a reason.
Oh yeah, me too,
because I was so curious to see this space of yours, and then you had come into my space and we had recorded there, and if anything everything would have been hunky-dory, then we wouldn't be here now. So I just think it's cool.
I think about that all the time too, right? And I think that's the sweet synchronicity of life, and how we can think of things as setbacks and get upset about them. And, for me in the moment when I'm listening to the first interview we did, and I'm like, oh, fuck, the sound. And I was like, it's all good. I'm not going to try to stress over, fixing this thing when, I can just ask if you want to do it again. And, so it's nice, knowing that I'm bringing people into my life that are open, you know, and then, we get this new opportunity to possibly go deeper onto things, right? Right.
Yeah. A take two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so how's life?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a busy season of life. And I think in every season I say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's true. And I feel that sort of like spring thing in the air where I'm like waking up a little bit. I do think that I'm a bit of a grizzly bear in the winter where I really do hibernate. Just like bits of my soul, bits of my creativity, just literal pieces of myself that aren't awake and alive during the winter, and I can feel them like coming out of hibernation, which feels so nice. And I'm not like hard on myself about it.
Yeah.
It's just who I am. It's how I am. Being a summer baby, I think.
Yeah, and do you feel like that's just like a part of your lifestyle too? Like how you kind of set up your life where as soon as winter comes, you know that you're like, okay, I can slow things down. You know, there's going to be, you know, more important things that show up in your life, you know, like your kids and, you know, parts of your business, but then to really be able to slow down, especially having the winters that we do, right?
Yeah. I think I do think every time like November hits, I'm excited for that slow.
Yeah.
And then like February comes and I'm like, all right, I'm tired of being slow now. I gotta speed things up.
Yeah. I think over the last couple of years, that has really hit me more than ever in my life. Because leading into even my 20s and early 30s, I've always really embraced the winter and was totally just like kind of neutral about it or totally fine with it.
Yeah.
But just over the last 2 years, I'm like, okay, something's changing. Like something is happening in me where the winters and I think I recognize that I have a level of depression.
Yeah.
That's just there.
Just seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I've never really thought of it that way. And I don't think it's just seasonal. Like I think it's just there's just like something that clicked in me where I'm like, oh, I never really recognized that I've just been like living with a kind of depression.
Yeah.
And so putting my attention on that and seeing how the winter then affects that, you know, it definitely like amps it up.
Yeah.
But the difference in this year is now living in my own place.
Yeah.
That actually kind of helped it.
Oh,
good. I think when I was living with a couple of roommates and like dealing with the dramas of it, that you know, thinking to myself, I don't have the space to really do what I want to do, and how that was affecting me. But yeah, it's really interesting, you know, spending this moment now, like thinking back on the last like few months and being like, hey, where was I at? And, you know, how was I handling things? And there's just like particular areas of my life where I'm like, yeah, I'm handling this really well. But I think there's like other things that I'm just like not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we can't be on all the time in all areas.
Yeah.
As much as we want to be as humans. I think we're like that, sort of perfectionists a little bit.
Yeah.
And we just want to give our all in all the areas. But we can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like the beauty of art too, right? Like having a creative outlet. Yeah, because I was looking at the photos that you did for me, and I was just like blown away. And yeah, I'm like super stoked to start sharing them and getting it out there. Because I think we just like in that level of depression, we're all going to have our own insecurities. And yeah, and so like I just have some of my own vulnerabilities and insecurities that they get peeled away in those moments, right? Where you have someone like capturing you in a way that you don't really see yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think, you definitely have a knack
Great.
for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. I want to hold space for people just to be as beautiful as I see them, and to just not look at themselves like they do in the mirror, because I think that reflection in our eyes is different than seeing a reflection of yourself in somebody else's eyes. And I honestly think that photography is the only way that we get a look at ourselves through somebody else's eyes, because you can never go into somebody else as much as you want to. Like, the people that love you, you know that they see you in a different way that you cannot see yourself. And I think photography is just the smallest bit of that, but so important.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. And because where I think the magic is then, like, in that moment of capturing what you're seeing, but then there's like something happening in your mind that's almost like a filter of what then it can be, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have the raw images, but then you're gonna take it into your editing suite, and you're gonna be like, hey, there's something that you can pull out of it, and there's something that you can bring life to it with.
Totally.
Right?
What do I want this to say? What do I want people to feel when they look at this? How did I feel? How can I make that to the world?
Yeah.
How can I want people to feel and see what I saw and felt. There's
one really trippy one where there's like an overlay of like an elderly man.
Yeah, I knew you would love that one.
Because I was like, man, that looks like scarily like me.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was super trippy because I have this book that I wrote called Future Life Progression: Meeting Your Future Self.
Oh.
So that brought up so much, and it's a book and a project that I kind of let go of. And so, like we were talking about earlier, like these threads of synchronicity, right? Where, how the inspiration, like, where did you find that picture? And how did that come up into your mind? And even be inspired to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I use that book all the time for those overlay things. I've never once used that man.
Really?
Until you. And I have no idea why.
Yeah.
I just felt it in my body and I just went for it.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting that it like means something to you.
Yeah. Because I think there is this beautiful kind of, I want to say magic, but it's something more where I think there is this kind of influence from a whole other space that's drawing us forward in who we are, right?
Yeah.
And whether or not you really want to put any language to it, I think intuitively we're all kind of doing our best to be on track with this vision for ourselves, right? And it kind of informs then what goals we have and why we're doing the things that we're doing. And so that moment I saw that and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
There's, I think this lesson in that of, I'm going to become that inevitably.
Right.
And, I think it's about approaching that gracefully. And, there's like intimidation in it too, right?
Totally. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I know aging is so interesting and should be celebrated.
Yeah.
And should be this beautiful thing. And then we're all inside scared of it a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's a part of like losing touch of things, right? When we think we have such a strong grasp on who we are and what we're doing. And, the process of like slowly no longer being relevant or something, especially in our craft. And I think about this, I think frequent enough when it comes to like being an entertainer or something, right? Or trying to be in an industry where you want some kind of notoriety, that there's this game that's being played around attention and how well you can capture attention.
Yeah.
And the thing that I tell myself is that to be undeniable in what you do is the commitment to your strong sense of who you are and what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you can fully show up in these things, the momentum that you build leads to how strong of a magnet you are.
Yeah,
right?
I completely, fully, wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah. And so it's, to me, I look at the people in my life or people I see on social media who are just wonderfully doing their thing, like you, that it's just a huge inspiration to me. And then I think in my mind, like, what can I do to contribute? And I think that's why I have something like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? And, and how collaborations can work. Because I'm already thinking about, like, when am I going to do the next photo shoot, right?
Right. Good, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I think, just, to me, more and more now, I'm like, I want to be able to work with good people and set, like, good connections up, right?
Be intentional in that way, and like you said, attract those things that you want, and to get to those places you want to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah
And the life that you're living, and the photography that's I would say kind of like the focal point. You also are a poet. You're also a writer.
Yeah.
And do you feel one stronger than the other, or do you feel like they're both kind of like at an equal stance in your life?
I do feel like they are equal for me. I think my writing and being a poet is just a bit quieter. It's a little more vulnerable for me. It feels a little more, a little trickier to give that part of myself to the world, and something that I'm trying to get better at, because when I do it, it actually feels very therapeutic and healing, to pair my photography with my poetry and kind of have one sort of lead the other one into the world, which is what I think my photography does and my imagery does, is kind of lead me into being able to like put my heart onto pages or books or anything that I can kind of get out in that medium. But I do feel like I'm a little quieter as a poet, but still just as intense, I suppose. Yeah.
And I think, and I'm not sure if this is your experience, but I know when I'm writing music, there's no pressure around it. Like I can't sit down and be like, okay, now it's time to write a song.
Right.
And how words and how any ideas flow through me is going to be at a time where like it's beckoned upon me, and so when I was in Jasper this weekend, I had the whole intention to be like, hey, I'm gonna like sit down and write a new song, and nothing. But I because over the last year I've been really reflecting on my time with my friends, and we're living together. Right before I moved out, I did start writing this song that was about what the end of a friendship means, and what it looks like, and what I was feeling in the moment. And the song is called Left Behind. And feeling like you've had enough of something, or you're like, you know what, the best thing I can do for myself is to focus on me, and I need to take a step back and out. And so in that moment, this whole song flowed out. But over the weekend, it was a time to like recalibrate everything, and it was a time to like structure things and be like, okay, now I have all these lyrics. This is where it makes sense to put this and this and this. And I think that's what's so beautiful about being a writer and being a creative, is that, just over the time of development, the brain just starts to like put things together as a puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's been things that I've wrote and like, I know that's not finished. I know that's not it. And I'll forget all about it, and then I'll come back and read it, and then like instantly it's just like, boom, that's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like you just have the structure. And I think that's actually just as important as writing it, is then like structuring it and have it be fluid enough to then go out into the world.
Yeah. The thing that I'll do is I'll stop and I'll ask myself, or I'll tell myself, make it make sense. I do that a lot with, especially on the musical side, like when I'm trying to come up with like some riffs or something, and I find myself getting into older patterns of how I play. And I'll just sit there and be like, okay, make it make sense. And it's like a little window opens, and there'll be this like little gem of insight. They'll be like, okay, right now you shouldn't do anything and just chill. Or the insight comes in that's like, you need a whole new direction in this way. And I like, for me personally, I like prefer that so much more than feeling like I like on the structuring side that I need to like schedule something and be like, I need to sit down and write for 8 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's so stressful.
Yeah. The only time I found it work is when I was writing my book, but the way that I write in that sense is I'll write out a structure. And especially when it comes to like non-fiction informational stuff, where then I can be like, okay, I'm waking up at 5. I'm going to write between, 6 and 7 or 8 o'clock, and then go to work, because I already have a map that I can follow, right? Where I'm like, I've already made the outline of how the chapter is going to start. Here's the concepts. Absolutely. And then you can write through it.
Yeah.
So I think it works in that sense. But when it's just like you're pulling it from the fucking ethers. Yeah.
No, 100%.
This one concept that I've heard about is like the muse, right? Where like these ideas of creativity and basically like that sense of pulling something, it's not you reaching in and pulling, it's whatever that muse is, whatever that creativity is, like opening you up and pouring it in.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it feels, actually. Yeah.
And you could be anywhere, right?
Literally.
I'm like driving my car, I'm like, I gotta record
immediately pull over, or or like voice note. Yeah, absolutely.
This like new song that I'm starting to write, which is like totally a metal song. It's like it's gonna be like way heavier. It was like right after a yoga class. I just like finished teaching yoga, and then just so like started screaming these lyrics, and I was like, oh, I need to record this. Just like sneak into the bathroom and record it.
I love that. I love that. It almost makes no sense, which is so great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And then I found the project that I'm working on right now, with like this album that I'm writing, and songs that I have released, have specifically been about relational things. So it's either like being in a relationship with a person, or with myself, or with friends or something. I found that really helpful too, having like a theme that bridges it.
Yeah.
Rather than just thinking like, oh, what song am I going to write next?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned earlier, when I look at my life and I'm like, oh, I have these things pretty much well and handled. But then I look at like relationships and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm just a fucking mess. You know?
Yeah, that's how I feel lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if there's any getting over it.
I don't know.
Is that the feeling?
I think relationships are messy and so complex, and I think sometimes I wonder if we have a full grasp on our relationships all the time. Are they actually as like deep as we want them to be? Like, are we actually putting ourselves into these things in vulnerable ways if they don't feel messy? Because I think for me, if I'm not like in it, like in the shitstorm, then I'm not in it. I'm like a little bit above it. Everything feels cool. Everything feels good. Nothing can like go up or down. And I think that is a little bit of, for me anyway, that's me being a little bit numb. And just like being even keel with everything, which isn't actually me, because I'm very, very emotional.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I wonder, just like what in our life influences that,
Right,
you know?
right.
And so if is it like childhood stuff that comes up, or is it just things that we're ignorant to?
Yeah.
Right? Or on another level, what we have the capacity for, right? And to be able to put yourself in a situation where you want to dig things up, right? Like you want to grow as a person, and to have a relationship where, like you're saying, like you're not numb to things, and
everything's like surface level.
Yeah.
I get so bored of that right now. I'll just be like in the middle of a conversation with somebody and like completely check out.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, oh. And I wonder if it's written all over my face, like if they can just tell. And I'm like, tell me something like gritty.
Yeah.
I want to know you.
Yeah.
I want to know like what you've been through, what you feel.
Yeah. You know what? I had this experience just recently where it was kind of conflicting and contradictory for me, because like, you know, you have so much information on the internet of being like, you know, women or men want this or that. They want you to be vulnerable. They want you to tell the truth. They want you to like go deep and stuff like that. And you know, I've spent the last 10 years exploring that, just like within being a yogi, just being within the world of Tantra, and really working on myself and understanding vulnerability. And, you know, just recently meeting this woman and like opening myself up in this vulnerable way, and then being like totally shut down and being like, oh yeah, we're not at a place for vulnerability. And I was like, that's weird.
I think
was
there's
like,
always a place.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And I respect that. Like,
Yeah.
I think, on one level, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, whatever boundaries are going to be, there's going to be boundaries.
And like, good for her for having them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, but then like seeing the contradiction of not really like, or seeing the contradiction of like what I'm being told from like people from a point of view of advice, and then but then having it kind of blow up in my face and being like, hey, what do I do next? Like, what do I do now? Like, and a lot of the like my own personal dilemma is like, I feel like I'm being pushed into being an asshole. Like I'm being pushed into being cold and shut off and like, don't be vulnerable. Don't talk about shit. Like, don't bring up anything about like what your desires are or anything. It's like, and the caveat to that and what I understand is like, I think there's a timing for things, right? And there's like what's appropriate, but then I'm like you and I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck about all that. Like I like diving into the deep end of things, right? And also like being like, this is who I am as a person, like this is where I'm at, like these are my values and this is what I want. But then seeing like what the drawbacks sometimes of that is.
And there absolutely are, and I think we do have to be okay with them if we're not gonna sort of go back to that place of doing what's best for everybody. And like not doing what's best for you. And if in the moment it felt good for you to be vulnerable, then that was the right call. And it actually doesn't matter how it makes anybody else feel, because you were just being true to you. And she was, and then like in turn being true to her. And I think it does sort of like weed out that time that we might spend with somebody that doesn't actually get us where we want to be.
And that's exactly what I thought. Like that was the trippy thing of just like, I feel like a lesson that was on my side of like, okay, in the past I wouldn't have asked her the questions that I did. And, you know, maybe some time would have gone by. And so is there the benefit in that of like kind of catching yourself and being like, you know what? I don't want to trap myself. Just personally, it has nothing to do with the other person.
Absolutely.
And see how then I can handle this. How, like, what's the turnaround on it? So then I can be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to continue living my life and this is how it is. Right?
And you're kind of being your own filter for the rest of the world instead of allowing time to be that filter. Time is just like such a commodity, I feel like. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't have any time to waste. And there's also no rush. Like, I feel that too. There is no rush, but there's also no time to waste. I don't know.
It's a weird dynamic. Because that's always playing in my mind. It's like, I do feel that there is this like weird urgency getting older. But almost, then there's also the settling back of like, and you know, it doesn't matter, you know? And so, you know, the ability to lean back into that, like, it doesn't matter, but not in like a weird, apathetic, nihilistic way of like, fuck everything, you know,
like this cynical sort of.
It's still being like optimistic. But then being at ease and being like, you know, life is also great, like with all the things that I do and you know, what I can accomplish. And,
I think a little bit of suffering is good too. It's good for the soul.
That's why I'm as physically active as I am. With yoga and CrossFit, is that like translates right into that.
Oh, that's great.
Instead
that's
of
something
like,
I need to do more of.
Instead of like self-brooding, because I know, because I did that, you know, like a few years ago, right? Being in a relationship that just was like not healthy for either of us. And just like being in a pit of despair and coming out of that and being like, I want to take that energy and transmute it and transform it and turn it into something healthy.
Not get rid of it or like push it down, but like turn it into something. Absolutely. I think that's why art also so good. You can just take all that shit that's not pretty, not fun, doesn't feel good, and like make it into something good.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few photos that I was looking through that I felt like captured that side of me too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what I really love about photography, and, you know, in the moment vulnerability of where I'm not really even thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know, we're just kind of playing around. You're like, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
But then like something's like pulled out of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Some sort of essence is captured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And that's where I felt between like the video that Steven and I did for my song Careless and our photo shoot is like they work so well together.
Yeah.
Because like Steven even like helped me pull that out too, because he'd be like, okay, I really want you to emote on like this. And especially when we had like we shot like a whole fire scene to go with it. And so when I was looking at the video and then looking at those photos, I was like, oh man, this is so perfect.
It is so cool that they work together, because it's like two different artists, two different times, two different sort of intentions on each one too, actually. So I think that's so cool.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I've been learning about, you know, like who I am as an artist and how I'm showing up. And, you know, how I want to go forward with creating. And I have this whole other side of me being a yoga teacher and being a yogi of like, well, I want to make like devotional music, and I want that like lighter side of it. And I was like, but I don't know if I do.
Right.
Like, I really enjoy making the music that I am making right now. That is that like brooding side of life. And that is like kind of showcasing the darker side, but not in a, like a brutal way either.
Right.
You know,
just a way that not everybody gets to see you.
Yeah.
So you're kind of this like perfectly rounded, you get a taste of you in the light, and then you also get a taste of you in the dark, which I think is so important as a human being to honor both of those inside of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you, how do I want to ask this question? Is that something that you're like attentive to in your photography too? Like, so say like when people come to you and they're wanting to work with you, that, you're like thinking of the process of like, how do I like pull out this side of them that maybe they don't even, are maybe not even aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. And even like to speak on your photos, I was going to share some today, and I realized that I needed to like go through them in like a quiet moment, because there's almost like two sets of you in there. There's like you playing music and they're shot in a different way, and then there's like you a little more like stripped and a little more like vulnerable, and I had them combined, and then I realized, no, I want to have like two different sets, and it was like two different sets of you. And almost without realizing I had done that, it made me think if I do that in other sessions. And then I just kind of like quickly ran through my website in galleries that I've sent out, and I do that for every single person. And it's interesting. I would love to hear what other people thought. Did they see two different sets of themselves? Did they see two different emotions? Did they see like the light and the dark? Because it's kind of how I shoot without even wanting to.
Yeah. I
kind of go into every shoot with zero expectation and to just see what comes through. And it was really cool to see that, whoa, that actually does happen with a lot of people.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds like that's your muse, you know?
Yeah.
That like comes through and is like, here, this is how I'm gonna work.
I am merely just a portal.
Yeah.
For these things to happen before me.
Yeah, amazing.
So cool.
Yeah, and I think we touched on this a little bit earlier too. Of when you're working with someone and you're pulling this like kind of like view for them to see, have like what kind of reactions have you gotten like on a mixed kind of like spectrum where you do this photo shoot and I would imagine that this would happen more with women where like you're showing them a version that maybe they don't know people see, or they haven't seen of themselves maybe in a long time or ever.
Yeah, actually the sort of like reviews, for lack of a better word, my favorite is when somebody's like, it was actually challenging to see myself in the way that you saw me, because I think sometimes like we refuse parts of ourselves, and then it's really hard to love ourselves fully, and it's hard to love other people fully when we refuse parts of ourselves. And then I think it's so cool to be a different sort of mirror for people, to be like, whoa, I've never seen myself like that. It was really intense to see myself like that, but so important, rather than just somebody. And I mean, this is great too, but for somebody to only want me to capture them in one way, it's a way that they're comfortable with, it's a way that they're easy, they want it. I think sometimes it's good to do the opposite, and to kind of make somebody witness themselves in a way that we sometimes don't want to.
Yeah. I also think because we in our own space will see ourselves in the mirror, right? And so we'll see all the imperfections, we'll see all the flaws, and we'll all have these like weird insecurities and feelings about ourselves. And I can only imagine that like that's part of the fear as well too, is like, is that version of me that's like self-critical and judgmental of myself gonna be witnessed?
Is that going to show up?
Yeah.
And they do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so cool to then be like, oh, but you saw it in a way that was like kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do admit that like, okay, maybe I'm not as bad as I think I am.
Yeah. And and like whatever medium is being used for like that play in light and dark, right? Like the way that the colors show up and the way that it's edited, and how we can take our vulnerability and turn it into art. Because a lot of the time, right, when we're looking at ourselves, we're not seeing it in that way. We're not like, oh, like what if the lighting was here and here? So actually, we're just looking straight on, and we're like, oh, I hate this part of myself. I hate this part of myself. And for someone to show up like you, to be like shining light on it and being like, this is why it's beautiful. Yeah.
It's so fun. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's great. I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell.
Do you think that there's a bit of that in being a yoga teacher? And also, because I personally have never done yoga, the thought of it feels very vulnerable to do it. Would I be good at it? I'm in a room full of people. Are they all watching me? Do they all see me feeling like I'm struggling, or that I'm like completely terrified in the moment? Is there a bit of that?
Oh yeah.
For you? Yeah.
There's tons. So I pretty much exclusively teach women, which is like a huge gift.
Amazing. Wow.
And so I started teaching at Oxygen Yoga and Fitness in August. And since then, I have this like epic crew of women that come like every week. Cool. There's 6 different classes, but that comes up all the time. Yeah. And so it is a part of my responsibility to show up in a way where each person feels like they're alone.
Right.
And that
That's
in
how I
that,
would wanna feel.
yeah. And so in that, you're in your own bubble and we're all in it together.
Cool.
And so wherever this person is at is just where that person's at. And each person's going to have their own strengths and weaknesses. And I design the class in a way where how it flows and how we do these postures is that it's going to be accessible to everybody. And I say that right at the beginning. I first say, disclaimer, this class will be a little bit challenging in these ways, but if you're a beginner, there's these postures that you can do. If you're intermediate, there's these.
Oh, cool.
And
it's kind of
and
tailored
so,
to everybody.
yeah. And so
cool.
I'll speak directly to that, and I feel and I watch their guards come down.
Oh,
and then
so
I
cool.
see their strength like coming through it. So even someone that is new to it and they're going along, I see they're doing their best.
Yeah.
And I just show up in a way where there's no judgment. And I'll help with like little bits of assisting and adjustment here and there, just in simple ways for the folks that like, if I say, okay, you're going to come and do this posture and like one little thing's out, I say, okay, all I have to do is this and this, and then there it is. And this is the first time in a long time in teaching where I feel I'm at my best. Great. And I've gotten like the greatest reviews I've ever gotten as a yoga teacher. So like what you were speaking on in your case, like if you were to show up, that you can show up just where you're at.
Right.
And there's some folks that they show up and they're like, you know what, this isn't for me. This is a little bit, too challenging or not enough. And, I have people cycle through, but it's been really cool to see. I think between all 6 classes, I probably have like 40 people that are just like solid regulars. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, my class size fluctuates between like 20 to 30, 32 people each class.
That's a lot.
And then I have like my rock star ones that like have been there from the beginning and they show up and like we all know each other and they're like a little crew, and I'm like, fuck,
that's
yeah.
Great.
And it's sweet because like since August, there's like that small group that have been coming every week, and the progress that they've made is huge.
Yeah.
And I make sure to tell them like, you guys are doing so good.
Yeah.
Like,
consistency is key.
Yeah.
In all walks of life, all areas of life. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
and
cool. I love that.
Then the practice itself like brings up a lot because and it still does this for me. Like there's times where I'll do a strong practice and I'm like, oh man, I don't know what it is that's coming up, but there's just like a flood of emotions and there's like an unpacking of things. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
someone who's never done yoga, that's so interesting.
And it's in a good way too. It's not like in an unnerving way, right? Where like if there's something shocking that happens where like then you suddenly have to deal with something abruptly.
Yeah.
Where you've prepared yourself for it because you've opened up your body and you've opened up your muscles and you've just through all the breath work, that then it's like I feel different. Like that's the first thing. It's like the recognition. I feel different. Why do I feel different?
Right. What is this? What? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what I see just within my classes, because I mainly teach women, is that after a short period of time of coming regularly, they love it.
Yeah.
There's something so visceral and raw of like getting through the class and getting through the challenges and the postures and the breathing, where there's a noticeable shift in confidence that I'm seeing. Yeah.
Cool.
Like in real time, like from how they show up to the end of the class, it's like they're already a different person. It's amazing.
That's crazy. Nobody's ever explained yoga to me in this way.
Yeah, it's and I think is we're just inundated with like a superficial side of it, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to go onto YouTube and social media and just kind of see these like rock star yogis like do all this crazy shit. But then when you're in the class and you know you're being led by a good facilitator, that it becomes apparent that there's fundamentally something happening, and you know, for the better for the most part, you know.
And you can just feel it in the room.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to make up or sort of get. It's just, it's there.
Yeah, and it's just the way that I teach as well too, right? Like
that's probably a big piece.
Yeah. I mix in alignment principles and then philosophy and like in the moment kind of wisdom. I stay away from like fluffy stuff. I'm not going like to like neo spiritual stuff. It's more just down to earth wisdom stuff.
Cool.
And I find that really helpful, more so at the end rather than in the middle of the class. In the middle of the class where everyone's just like focusing on what's happening, like you like
they're in it.
And yeah, and so where my guidance is like, okay, your body is doing this, do this and this and this. You know, you're stacking your body this way, stack it this way, so that when you do hold and breathe, there are these alignments that like unlock things. And then it's like by the end of the class, when you've done all that work, you've opened up your body, you've opened up your hips, your shoulders, your spine. Then when you're like lying on your back and you're just completely relaxed, then like the wisdom part comes in of like, how do we show up for ourselves in our life? And like, how do we take this as something that is an addition to how we are, so that when we do step into our world and we're feeling more balanced, we're feeling more at peace, that whatever comes at us, we're like, yeah, I can handle it.
Cool. It sounds like so much more than just doing yoga.
Oh yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. There's a science to it, you know, like there is the like traditional, like if you were to look at it as something that's coming out of India that has its roots in ritual and traditional practices and deity worship, there is that side of it, but then there's also just something very visceral about what you're doing to your body.
Right.
Yeah. And how
that part is intriguing to me.
Yeah. So the way that I like to think about it is in our day-to-day life, we don't ever think about breathing, right?
No.
So we're
Sometimes
just like,
I forget to breathe.
Yeah, and we're just like, I have this to do, I have this to do, I have this to do, this to do. Right from the moment we wake up to it's go mode, I've got to go to work, I got to do this, got to pick up my kids, got to do this, take them to school, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And the brain goes, I'll take care of the breathing.
Right.
Just go do this shit. Just go do this stuff. Mm-hmm. That then when you come onto your yoga mat and you're coming to your practice, then it's a complete 180-degree switch.
Right.
Then it's all my attention on my body, all my attention on my breath. So now the breath comes to the forefront of the mind, where then what I like to say is your breath becomes an experience. So it's not just this thing that's operating in the back anymore. Yeah. It's when you inhale, you feel your breath come in. When you exhale, you feel your breath come out, and you just continue doing that for the whole hour. Yeah. So imagine breathing that way for the whole hour. You're conscious of every single breath. You're conscious of all the movement. I can't imagine. Yeah.
I've done like a few healing sessions where, and I'm not even joking, she says we're going to breathe for 5 minutes. And I think, oh, I can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
She's going to make me breathe for 5 minutes. I can't do this shit. I can't get into it. I can't do it. And then probably like I try really hard, and like for 2 minutes it's a struggle, man.
Yeah.
I cannot do it because I just don't do it. I don't stop moving ever in my daily life, ever. And then like minute 3 comes and I like want to burst into tears because I'm like, finally I can breathe. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I actually can breathe. And then by minute 5, and I'm like, I'm just getting started. And she's like, right, she's done. She's like, okay, we're going to start talking now. And I'm like, oh, but I was just getting into it.
Yeah.
But I noticed that I'm like so lacking of that. But then the thought of it like scares the shit out of me. Like I don't want to sit and breathe.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't make me do it. I can't. But it takes so long, but I can do it. I've started to notice that. That I can do it, which is amazing. But for the whole hour?
Yeah.
Come on. Can I just come and breathe? Can you do a class that's just breathing?
Yeah. I teach 6 classes.
Yeah.
One's a power yoga class, so it's like super intense.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People
They
get
kicked
worked.
your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I have students that come in, they look at me, they're like, can it not be hard today? And I'm like, absolutely not.
No.
You're getting worked.
I love it. I love it.
Then I teach a deep stretch class, and that's the laying on the back breathing.
Oh.
Like we literally spend 15 minutes
Okay.
doing the 3-part yogic breath where we isolate the breath. So we like breathe into our belly, then breathe into the chest, then link the two.
Yeah.
And it's like super, like it's just slow and good.
Cool.
And then the rest of the class is just like on our back, doing stretches and breathing. And yeah, and it's breathing the whole way through.
Great. I might have to hit you up for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tuesday nights,
Cool.
8:00, and then Friday nights, 7:00.
Do I have to wear yoga pants?
For that one, no.
Okay, great.
Yeah. It is a warm room, but
Okay.
you can wear comfy clothes. You know,
Okay.
lots of people just come in with, yeah.
Because I like a lot of material
Mhm.
not touching me,
Yeah.
as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah. No tight spandex.
No, I don't own a
flowy.
single pair.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. so-
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. You
cool.
can be totally chill. Yeah.
Great. Cool.
Yeah, because to give yourself the opportunity to make that switch, there's a very real change in neurology, right? And so to be a little bit nerdy about this, we have 2 major parts of our nervous system, right? Like sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. So we're in our daily operation, we're in the sympathetic, we're in the fight or flight. But that's just like our normal operation of just like active.
Right.
That's what gives us the energy to do the things.
Yeah.
The parasympathetic is rest and digest. So it's the point where after we eat a meal, we're like, just want to chill. You don't want to get up and do anything. And that's like also then when we're preparing to go to bed.
Right.
And so to give yourself the time to like literally lay on your back and just breathe, that triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. And so for like your experience of like, you know, you had this 5 minutes of breathing,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's bringing up all these emotions, and like it's getting you to release in order for you to actually settle into the rest and digest.
Right.
Right? Because there's something in your world.
I don't think I ever do that.
Yeah.
Rest and digest. I don't think I ever do that.
Yeah. It is natural, but I mean, that's when it's a autonomic thing,
Yeah.
right? It's not the same when you actually sit down and intend for
To
it.
intentionally do it. Right.
Yeah. When you're like, I'm giving myself this time to like let go of all the stuff, and so that my body can actually bring up the things that, you know, have been stored in my nervous system that needs to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just like go, go, go. And I'm just like in not like survival mode. I feel like that's kind of like a buzzword, like where we're always struggling. And I don't mean it that way. It's just like always, when I feel like, okay, I have to sit down or I'm going to burn out. Like that's when I sit down. That's when I rest, is when my body is like, you do it now or like we're going.
Yeah.
So I think for me, making time to do it, no matter how hard it is actually something that I'm realizing that I must do. I have to start doing it. I have to start making time.
Yeah. And I think when when that's the first step, right? Where you kind of have to like
Right.
force yourself to at first when you're
knowing
like
that it's needed.
that once you start showing up for yourself that way, then it's no longer an obligation.
Right.
It's now something that you look forward to.
Right.
And then it's like a part of your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And then you couldn't live without it, right? It'd be like
Right.
like your writing or your photography, right? It's just
Right.
now it's a key part of your life where in your routine of self-care essentially,
Yeah.
that you're like, oh yeah, it's whatever day, whatever time to go to the class and do the work.
Right. Yeah. The woman that I have been doing these healing sessions with, where she makes me breathe, she says like before she gets out of bed in the morning, she breathes for 5 minutes. Like that's what she does, and that it changed her life.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I almost thought like, yeah, whatever. And then she made me do it, and I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe she's not full of shit.
Yeah.
Is actually what I thought in my head.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy what it can do, actually.
And I think it's just simply you are adding a new experience into your life.
Right.
And
as an adult, so good.
Yeah.
Because we kind of stop doing that.
Yeah.
We get into these routines. We know what we like. We know what we dislike. And we just do it.
Yeah.
But then like as children, like everything's new and it's wonderful. And they're like vibrating on this higher frequency that like adults can't really access anymore. Or we just do it unwillingly. But yeah, to do something new as an adult, it's wonderful.
Yeah. And something that you have access to at all times.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. No, it's
right?
true. Yeah.
Because you know, like am I practicing every day? No. Like there's days I wake up and I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm you know, like,
doing that.
I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm just gonna
That's
like lay
too, right?
I'm gonna lay here a little bit longer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just like a natural product of living in the modern world, right? Where, you know, with all the things that we do, it's like I work myself to exhaustion and like burnout too, right? With everything. And, you know, to wake up in the morning and be like, I just want to lay here and that's fine. As long as I know that, you know, throughout my week, there are the opportunities for me. Like, okay, now it's time to move my body, and and it's gonna feel really good to do these things.
Pockets. Yeah.
Yeah, because then when I think about then my my role as a teacher, and then what I'm showing people is that I want to be on top of things, so that when I do show up, you know, there is like this side of like I do want to impress them. So if I'm like, okay, we're doing this posture. And the reason why we're doing this posture, because it actually is preparing us for this one. And then I show them this wild posture and they're like, what the fuck?
Right.
and I've done it. Yeah, I've done it so many times. It's so funny because I'll be like, okay, so yeah, we're like doing whatever, this seated posture. And I'm like suddenly like putting my foot, my leg behind my head, and I'm like, and then lifting myself up, and I'm like, because it'll lead to this one day. And they're like, when? They're like, one day? They're like, when? And I'm like, maybe a year from now. But I've been doing this for 15 years, and I still kind of struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 years. I started in 2009, and then I started teaching in 2012. So it's been 10 years of teaching? No, 12 years of teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you get into it?
I was always a weird kid, and I was just into just magic and weird occult stuff from an early age. Cool. And so when I got into my later teens and had access to the internet, I just started researching all kinds of wild shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a lot of like occult magic stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that like sneakily led me into yoga, because then I started learning about like new age spiritual stuff and like the chakras, and then that just like opened up, because I was like, well, where's this stuff coming from? And then my good friend Chris, who is a childhood friend of mine, and he was getting into that stuff as well at the same time. And then he started going to yoga classes, and he was like, hey man, you should start coming to these yoga classes.
Yeah.
And and like what really hooked me in was this 30-day sunrise challenge at Prana Yoga Studio, where it was like, yeah, for 30 days, go to the studio and practice at 6 a.m. And that just like cracked me open. And it was one day at the studio, I see this little flyer of who my teacher is now. His name's Yogrishi Vishwaketu, in this wild posture. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do this, but he basically is sitting cross-legged, and the backs of his feet are touching, and they're like up in his stomach.
Whoa.
And he's just like, he has his hands like this, and he's just smiling. And I looked at one of the teachers there, Isabel, and I was like, who is that? And she just laughed. She's like, oh, that's Vishaji. And I was like, how do I meet him? And she was like, oh, he's going to be teaching the last part of the teacher training in August. And I was like, I'll be there.
Oh, yeah. You had to meet him.
That decision just like catapulted me into yoga. Because then,
cool.
Yeah, kind of like simultaneously, I had a couple friends that were teaching yoga out of my apartment. And one day they were like, oh yeah, we're going back to Thailand to like be with our teacher. And again, I was like, yeah, I'm coming. And they're like, great. So that year, 2012, I went to Thailand for 2 months, studied at a yoga school, then went and did my teacher training in August. And yeah, just like fully dived right into it. So
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just went for it.
Yeah. And then like since then, like traveled all over the place. Like basically like what I have framed up here, like my trainings.
Oh yeah.
So so like 200 hour, 300 hour.
Right.
I've like collectively have done like over 1,000 hours of trainings. And I've been thinking of possibly doing another one, because I think there's a point where there's like more that I can learn.
Right.
And I haven't considered anything yet, but it's a few years ago I interviewed my teacher, and I asked him, how did he get into yoga?
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he's like, I didn't get into yoga.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what does that mean? He's like, this body came with yoga.
Oh my God.
He's like, I came into a body and it was already programmed in me.
Totally.
And it took over. And I was like,
so I was cool.
like, yeah. And so when I look at my life, I'm like, it's like, I think there's a lot of us that have that. Like there's something programmed in us. And I think that could be said with like art and whatever, that like we do have these things in our archetype of our being that is programmed in, that either at a very early age, it's like activated, you know, I would say maybe like photography for you, you know, like the stories that you've told me of like at a very young age, it's like
forever,
it's already activated, you know?
Yeah.
And same with him. It was like, it was activated really young.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like more so around my late teens, like getting into my 20s, where it was like activated. And I was like, yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even, I think for me anyway, even it was activated as a young kid, but it took me until I was like late teens, early 20s to actually realize that was like my calling. It wasn't just something that had always been like upon me, or that I'd always like been interested in, but that it was like a lifestyle. And then I think it like activates even more at that point, where it's not always a thing where you're like, this is what I'm meant to do for the rest of my life. That didn't hit me until like later. Yeah. Even though it had been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. Yeah.
Interesting. Where there's like a cultivation period almost.
Yeah.
Like it's like incubating inside of you. And it's like, there's something that's growing, and it's like, you don't want to, you don't want it to flower too soon or something, you know? And it's like, and then there's this like moment where it all culminates into, okay, this is the time. This is where it's really going to show and shine.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I feel like, you know, when I look back at the last like 15 years, and even though I dove right into it and I had the opportunity to do the trainings, and, you know, it was really a big part of my life, I'm feeling now more than ever that the responsibility of it and the like the real growth of it is happening now,
Right?
and that, you know, whatever I went through over the last 10 years was this like cultivating and this like incubation, and it took me all over the world, right? Like, even though you know, like it on paper or on the surface, it looks like I'm living like this really cool yogic life. It's like now I'm like, oh, the like depth of it is showing up now more than ever. Yeah,
that's so cool. And I think only that's only for you to like know and name and hold. And because the rest of the world kind of sees you as they will. Yeah. And it's so cool. It's such a good inner feeling to be like, oh, this is it right here. Yeah. Like I'm just starting to feel saturated in it, which is such a good feeling. No matter what you do, no matter what you are doing. Yeah. It's so good to feel like just deep in it.
How are you feeling?
So good. This was wildly different than what we talked about in the studio. And I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think this one was much more organic. Yeah. The flow of it. Yeah. And
maybe everybody should have a little practice run of it first. Yeah. And it's like, oh, it didn't work, and you have to do it again.
Well, I think our conversation at the beginning helped too. Was like we just kind of like eased into it. Yeah. And yeah, but I think this might be a good place to call it a night. Maybe tell everybody where they can find your stuff and where they can find your work.
Good idea. Yeah, I mean, majority of me as an artist is on Instagram. Moss and Moon on Instagram, and kind of there's little links and pieces and things of, you know, my poetry and my photo book and just like other things that I kind of want to work on, like another book, things like that. But yeah, mostly I show up on Instagram in a pretty big way. It's my bread and butter for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have the links all in the description. And with that, thank you all for listening, tuning into another episode. This one was great.
Thank you so much.
Really had a blast. And thanks again, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your night and enjoy.